Got a like already? Somebody's already here? Not going to be too exciting off the bat, guys. I've got to do some cleanup. I'm horrible at organization. I'm not very disciplined about cleaning up after myself in the shop. I just kind of jump from one task to the next. And what that has caused me is just some missing knives, in all honesty. Some stuff that I've had cut, shaped, heat treated, ground, all different stages, blades that I've just flat out lost here in the shop. Can't explain why. Here's a prime example. There's a Nitro V Thug drawn out, waiting to be cut out. Didn't know this existed. Just today, found a crew wear Thug, just ready for handles. Just forgot I had it. So I'm going to take a few minutes tonight. I'm going to do some knife making, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to take a few minutes tonight and kind of clean up and organize. And I was just kind of bored, so I thought I'd turn this on, see if you guys wanted to join me. I know y'all interact in the chat more with each other than you do me anyway. And that doesn't bother me, but figured I'd give y'all somewhere to chat, somewhere to make fun of me while I cleaned up after myself. It's long overdue. So I'm going to get some of this stuff cleaned up and see if I can't locate some missing items, to be honest with you. You know, there's a little crew wear prick right there. Didn't know I had it. You know, when you keep stuff piled up and unorganized, that's the kind of thing that happens. You end up losing things that I could have already finished and sold. But I get on an order and I get so excited about that I kind of forget to go back and do these things. So that's what I'm doing tonight. Probably not the most exciting stuff you've ever watched, but I got to get it done. I know Pocket Metal's about to go live. Also know Pocket Metal is that's not everybody's jam. So, you know, I'm not gonna hurt his viewership. Those who are going there, go in there. You know, here's a good piece of thin Nitro V. I can make at least 2 knives out of. Forgot I had that. Like I said, this Thug, forgot I had that. I didn't forget these, but here's my stack of Magna Cut. Yeah, I just got to get this stuff a little more organized so that I know what I have and what I don't. And if I can't find those knives, the only reason one of them is so memorable is because it was a Thug that was ground way too thin at Sawtooth Days, and it kind of turned itself into a recurve, which I liked. I didn't think anybody else would, and somebody actually spoke for it. I'm pretty sure it was 5-door, I think, wanted it, and now I can't find it. I've literally looked everywhere. However, I've looked amidst a mess, so you know I can't really say I've looked everywhere. I've looked everywhere I can see. So I got to get that. I got to get that straightened out, man. I got to do better. I've got some knives laying here, clamped up in scale material. There's Ed Harrison's. That's my buddy Ross's. Oh, I'm not getting these on camera, am I? That's my buddy Ross's Homestead. Here is Empty's Goon. So those will need a day for the second scale to set. Then I can put pins in. Here's Mad Yoko's all finished up. Scales, pins. This knife's ready to go to Kyle. Get sharpened up, get on its way to him. I really like this design, man. And this, We use a really thin Nitro V on this. This is going to be a really good cutter. So, yeah. I'm not going to be able to keep the camera on me all the time. So someone will just be talking and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. I've just got to go through and, you know, dig out tools that have just been laying around, get them put back in their place. Because I've gotten to a point where my own mess is working against me. But I guess that is good news. I've got a thug I can get scaled up and sold. You know, that's pretty awesome. Didn't even know I had that. I knew there was some thugs missing. I had misplaced 3 or 4 of them. So that's all I did was, you know, I found something I already knew was missing, but still, at least I found it. You know, I'm getting my pile ready up there for heat treat because I want to do all my heat treat in one day. And that kind of sucks too, because that means, you know, some people are waiting a little longer than others, but man, heat treat is just such a time consuming process that I just don't have any choice but to do it all at once. So it is what it is. You know, fine example, there's another crew wear prick right there. Didn't know I had that. So I could get some more of those going. And I'm glad I said that, Yako, because I just remembered I promised you a prick too. So that's good, because that's already heat treated. That's ready to go. I threw a prick in with Yako's order because he's ordered so many knives from me already. And to be honest, I don't even know if he's received his first one yet. I know it's been mailed out, but he's got 2 more coming. So this one's a little shorter, but I mean, how long do you need? How long do you need that to be? I don't know. Brand new drill bit. Remember me searching for drill bits the other day? Brand new drill bits just laying around. So I need to get those hung up. I know me here to be appreciative. He's probably tired of coming in and seeing this place such a wreck. Or my area anyway, his area is not. Oh. I said, I'm not going to bother carrying that camera everywhere I go. I'll probably just make y'all seasick walking back and forth. So I want to get some of this out of the way. That's my biggest hope, is that I find that recurve. All the thugs that are hollow ground have a slight recurve to them. Not enough to worry about them being difficult to sharpen, but they do all have a slight recurve to them. Then I've got some more pricks here that don't have that angle on the end of them. They're just straight. I don't think it's going to matter. I'm going to wrap these. Yeah. I need to get these gathered up, because these have not been heat treated. These are in Nitro V. Probably actually be tougher than the ones in crew wear, in all honesty. You know, edge retention is not an issue here. I thought about doing some, I don't know if I want to bring this up. I don't know if it would be controversial or not. But I thought about doing some crucifixion nails. Not glorifying that, just kind of in remembrance of something I think would be pretty cool to make and look at. Kind of the same thing as the pricks, really. You know, I'm not worried about them being sacrilegious because they're not. I just didn't want to hear people turn it into it, to be honest. That's not something I browbeat on people. I just feel like if you have something that you believe in that helps you through life, helps you feel better, helps you get through the day, whatever, then I'm all for it. Just another one of the freedoms that we have. You can choose to take advantage of it or not. I guess the best thing to do is just be sweep all this towards me and get it all close and then go through it piece by piece, I guess. Kind of let it get out of hand. Kind of unfair. Me has been really good to me to provide me with this space, and I've not done my part in keeping it clean for him, because he comes in and uses some of this stuff too on occasions. Now I think about the time and money he's invested in building his dream shop, and I'm in here dirtying it up every chance I get. Not very respectful, in all honesty. I don't think either one of us thought about the repercussions of doing this kind of work in the shop. Man, it gets metal dust everywhere. It's just, and all this metal dust floating around can't be good for, well, it's not good for anything in here, in all honesty. Any of his equipment, anything. It gets in everything. Oh, I got something even better coming for you, Megan. I've got a plan for Mr. Mayfield. I've got something really nice coming for him, and it's not a knife. That would be too, I hate to say generic coming for me at this point, but I mean, he knows I'll make him a knife anytime he wants. So this is a little more of a surprise, a little more of a fancy object. I don't want to talk about it on here in case he watches, but it is in the works. You know, if I don't ever make another knife in this shop, I already owe him. And I owe you guys, man. The fact that y'all made this possible. You know, people like Tyler buying 3 knives before he got the first one, and people like Aiden being this patient, waiting this long, and I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it in public, but paying extra like you did just to support me, man, it means the world to me. I wouldn't still be doing this if it weren't for you guys. So I don't know how far this is going to go or how long I'll be able to do it. I'll tell you my hoop dream. What I would really like to get out of this is I'd like for my grandson to get old enough and responsible enough to work around equipment like this so that I can teach him how, and maybe him carry this on at a later date. That's what I really want. But we'll see. he may not want to do this. And that's fine. I would never push him into anything. We got a clamp here I didn't know I had. I got some toxic green pins. Didn't really know I had. I mean, I knew I had them. I just hadn't seen them in so long. I'm not gonna hang on to this piece of steel because I don't know what it is, or just kind of wasted at this point. Don't know if it's heat treated. I don't think it is. But without knowing what it is, I don't want to hang on to it. I still got plenty more to do after this. There's a whole other work counter over here. This is just my main table. I'm trying to get somewhat tidied up for now. But I have a ways to go. Won't take me all night. We're gonna spend a little time with it. I'm gonna throw these things as garbage in here one at a time so I don't overlook anything. So I'm fixing to throw that away. That's a perfectly good magnetic ankle finder, but it was covered in metal dust. I didn't even know what it was. All these drill bits in here are the same size. It's the ones I buy in bulk. And because I didn't coordinate this, I'm going to have to just throw them away and assume they're no good. Now, I took them out of the drill press for a reason. Not positive what that reason was. I'm going to dump this. Grinder motor off here since it's no good, doesn't work anymore. No point in that taking up shelf space. Relocate it for the time being. I'll turn y'all around in a second. That's already looking way better. Not near the mess that it was. But the other end, not so great. I didn't feel like I was going to find any of my missing stuff on this table. So, like missing half-finished knives and whatnot. If I find those, they should be over there on that counter behind me. Here's some steel. You know, that would make a perfectly good thug right there. Just laying there. That'd make a perfectly good prick, just laying there. These two are really too small to do anything with. My belt cleaner. Really nothing but a big eraser. All this is rubber. After buying it, I found out it's just as cheap. You can go to the thrift store and pick up pair of cheap tennis shoes, don't matter what size they are or nothing. All you're using is the sole. It's the same thing. It's that same type of rubber. Instead of paying for it from a knife supply, you get the same thing for about half the price. Open this back door and blow this table off. This place is notorious for strange sounds and animals that take off out there and scare the shit out of me in the middle of the night. I get jump scared nearly every time I'm here by myself. If I'd been out here in the middle of nowhere with nobody, it would just be quiet. You wouldn't worry about things like that. Man, there's always something knocking around, making a noise, walking by the door. This place is infested with deer, all kind of other mammals. I'm going to move Tyler's knife over here since it's done. I want to get it out of the way of all this mess. I've got some pegs on the wall over here for different things. They're actually meant for different stages. Well, I'll just show you. And I've not been utilizing it, but like right here, these are supposed to be heat treated blanks, you know, ready for grinding. And I've got stuff like that laying everywhere. So I'm gonna have to start utilizing that so I can be more coordinated. Because when I get them all together, when I gather up everything I have, it's kind of sad, really, how much stuff I've got that I don't even remember. Here's that knife for the Javon giveaway. I was going to do it Friday. Couldn't get my computer to work. This will still have to go to Kyle for an edge. Yeah, we're going to be giving this away on Javon's tomorrow night. It was one of the original designs of the Joke Wolf, and I'll just be honest, I didn't like it. I added that choil. I still don't like it, but it's a free knife, so take what you want from that. If you don't like it, you don't have to enter to win it either. Hang these belts up, get rid of this box, taking up all this space. Put garbage in that. Just trying to get me a filing cabinet for these knife designs. One of these is Javon's, one's Brandon Sutton's. I don't need to lose those. What I really need to do is designs that we're happy with. I need to go ahead and cut those out. I got some milds still here. I need to get those cut out. Just like paint them orange or something so I know that they're mild still. And all they'll be is, you know, they'll just be patterns. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Got a whole table over there covered in belts of different levels of worn out. I need to figure that out. Some of them probably need to go in the garbage. Got a chunk of titanium here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. It's not thick enough for anything but a bolster. But well, I don't have any excuse other than I've just been intimidated about doing anything with it. Maybe I will soon enough. So this is no good. I'm gonna throw this away. Those knives I was talking about that just came up missing, or that I misplaced, I should say, should have been somewhere right here where I've got the camera sitting. Last time I remember seeing them, they were right here. So I've already looked under my Kydex. It's not there. Let me move that out of the way. Let me tilt this oven over and make sure it's not under. They're not under the oven. They are not. Yeah, I was talking about that. I've got a chest harness for my camera right here. I could have been wearing that walking around the shop, but I ain't that worried about it. So this is empty. That can go in the garbage. The extra shield for my face shield. Hang that up. Just get rid of some of this loose, whatever this shit is. So I'm gonna need my brush. And when I get done here in a few minutes, we'll go back to making a mess instead of cleaning one up. Move this stuff out of the way. Start sweeping this counter off. I'm gonna go get a new piece of marble to do all my glue ups on. I've got glue on this metal countertop. This is supposed to be a wooden countertop, and they had put metal on it. Spent good money putting metal on it, and this epoxy is just, it feels horrible now. That's my fault, so I gotta clean that up and get something to do that kind of work on, so there's no chance of me getting it on there. I got a bag of brass shavings. Thinking about doing some black epoxy with brass shavings in it. Could be cool. Might look like shit. I don't know. Don't know. There's my timer. I found my timer. That's very important on heat treat day. Just keep random pieces of cardboard around for mixing epoxy up on. That way I'm not always looking for a surface to do that on. I've always got something. That, when I'm done with it, I can just throw it in the garbage. I don't think I'm gonna have any luck finding those knives. If I was gonna find them, I was 90% sure they would be over there, and they're not. I mean, it's entirely possible that I hung it on a peg and just don't remember what peg I hung it on. Don't see it anymore. I don't know, man. That's all right. I'll make him another one. That is stainless steel foil for heat treat. That's a cost you don't think about. That's a $100 box. It's only 10 feet long, and I promise you, it disappears quickly. This is all that's left of my last 10-foot roll. This sheet here. Sanding drums, empty box of sanding drums, more sanding drums. And I've got a ton of just garbage from where I've opened things and left the wrapper laying around. For a guy that does it on a mill, I've got all kind of mill bits. Probably should have dug through those to see if there was anything Donnie could use. Well, it's pretty official. Those knives aren't up here. Don't know what I did with them. I'm at the end of the counter. I still don't see them. But I do have some stuff to grind here in a minute, guys. So we'll get to it here shortly. Just want to get the rest of this mess cleaned up. Then we'll start making it all over again. Some epoxy. I don't even know where the other part of it is. How does that just come up missing? No telling what I did with it. Oh, it's right there in the trash can. This was my very first knife grinding jig on my Wimba 30. It's just a 90-degree piece of aluminum. And I cut this out so that I could see the blade better. Like the handle would clamp here. The blade would be out here in this open area. So I could work it. Probably don't need it anymore, but I ain't gonna get rid of it. Made a lot of knives on that. A lot of knives I would have never sold. They weren't sales worthy. A little bit depressing. I was really hoping I'd clean up some and find that stuff. %100% my fault though. It's weird how often I find files laying around because I used to collect old files just to make knives out of. Man, I'm really glad I'm not still in that stage. That sucked. It didn't suck at the time. I thought it was super cool. But when you move on from it and go to something better, you start to realize how bad that sucked. Can't throw this grinding disc away. This thing's nice and rounded on the edges. Makes for good heavy jimping or sharpening tools. I like using a new one because it makes a very square cut. I don't like the square cut look. Also got a sheath to make tonight for Mr. Empty. And he get his thug sheath made. Get that on its way to him. He again has bought 3 knives. So I need to get him taken care of. Seems like the only thing I'm finding that a lot of that I've lost is Sharpies. Finding Sharpies everywhere. Which is good, because I have to use them all the time. That's incredible how much dirt this produces. It's not really dirt, it's metal dust. There's a bunch of it. Nice outside tonight, about 60 degrees. So it's a tad bit cool, but not enough to hinder from work. Looking under this pile of belts, those knives are not there. Just don't know what I did with them. Doesn't look like they're going to show up. I keep forgetting to replace my gloves. My gloves are shot. So much so, I don't know if y'all can see it, that big blister on the side of my finger. My gloves are wore out. By the time I feel it burning me, it's kind of too late. If I feel the heat, then I'm already pretty bad burnt. I've also got to rebuild my Kydex press. This will probably be the last sheath I make on this. It's worn out. Well, that's already much better. Much better. It's not spotless. That's where I bought those forging, I forgot what they're called, tones. And you're way better off, just go to Lowe's and buy you a long pair of needle nose. These are just way too cumbersome to work with. Since I started using those needle nose, I haven't touched those tones. have no interest in it. I have better control, and I think they get a better grip too. Just better all around, in my opinion. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. I got to get handles put on this in the next day or two, but this is Troy's Goon XL. It's a bad motherfucker. It's in 4V. It's thick, but it's so tall, I could actually get a good tall flat grind on it, so it should cut very well. Don't know what I did his Alabama hammer very rudimentary. It's not fancy at all. So I'd like to do a little better scale work on this one. Just so that not everything he's getting from me is kind of rough cut. All right. That was a fail. I mean, I got the shop looking, or my workspace looking a lot better, but I did not find the missing blades. So that just is what it is. We're going to chalk those up to gone. But like I said, I found a thug tonight I didn't know I had, so that's good news. But here's Empty's acid washed, stone washed thug. I got to get a sheath made for it tonight. So I know he's not getting impatient. He's been very patient, but I'm sure he'd like to have something in hand after as many as he's bought. So we'll just find a piece of Kydex and get that started now. The sheet right here. Let me do some. I had a silver Sharpie that was much better at writing on this black. But of course, I don't know what I did with it. Get my ruler. Let me go get this cut out. I'll get the oven warmed up. I can be doing other things while I'm waiting on this. Go ahead and get this oven on. All right, that's got our Kydex cut out. We'll get this heating up and get the blade taped up. Alrighty. Got the blade taped up. You do that to create a little slack in there so that since the sheath's not too tight on the blade itself, ends up scratching up the blade and crap. One thing I always forget to do is make sure my clamp is open and ready. You don't have a whole lot of time once you take that thing out of the oven, and it don't take long in there. I'm not a great Kydex maker, guys, so don't look to me for Kydex making advice, because I ain't the one, that's for sure. All the way down to 6. Pocket metal must have started, I guess. Then I know this hasn't been very exciting. We haven't ground anything yet, but I promise we're about to. I just want to get this sheath made before I forget about it. Then I got some more blades to cut out. The rest of that magna cut, the rest of that crew wear, I got to get those cut out and shaped so that I can have a heat treat day this weekend. Get all that heat treated, and hopefully it'll just roll after that. For those of you who are fans of Bob DeMarco, this is my one and only clip point that I've made for the Knife Junkie. We're going to give it away on his channel. I am going to thin that handle up a little more. It's a little thicker than I like it, and I've got room. I can take another almost 1/4 inch, well, at least an 1/8 inch off each side. I'm not a big fan of it right this minute. So that's another giveaway knife. I've got this one here. I got to get it scaled up. Plenty of scale work to do. I'm going to get my belt changed out. Now, what are we grinding next? Still got several homesteads here to grind, so we're going to get those out of the way. These aren't hugely popular sellers within the community, but at like homestead shows, rodeos, prepper events, stuff like that, they sell really well because it's just a basic drop point knife. They're not looking for anything tactical. You can be tactical with a fucking kitchen knife. Tactical's not a knife. It's a, I don't want to say it's a mindset because you can't just think tactical, but if you're well trained, you can be tactical with, be deadly with anything. You can kill a man easily with a butter knife. I should have put some anyway, I should have put some cheesy ass political drama name on here. See how many people I could draw in. I ain't making fun of them folks though, man. I fall for it too. I fall for the damn toxic political bullshit just like everybody else does. Tyler, since you're still here, here's your crewwear model right there. Just remind you that it exists. Hopefully it'll be heat treated by this weekend. Like I said, that things should speed up considerably after I get everything heat treated. Let's see what this Kydex feels like. See if the corners are starting to curl yet. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're ready to clamp it in. You get this clamped down, guys, we'll get to grinding. Just gotta be especially cautious about not getting my thumb on that belt until I get some new gloves. But as I hate to say it, I'm probably gonna go to Harbor Freight. They got goatskin work gloves for like $6 a pair. As consumable as they are, fast as you go through them. That's always a good idea, guys. When you get everything set up, before you even turn the grinder on, man, just make a few fake passes. Make sure there's nothing in your way. Everything is set where you want it. That way you don't get in the middle of a grind and realize you're about to fuck something up. Sadly, a lot of knife companies would just stop there. They just do that paper grind and let it go. though. Just to prove it, get a nice saber grind on this one. That's how you run your gloves. You just bump that knuckle into that 60 grit belt. I gotta get some water, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. That'd make a pretty saber grind though, wouldn't it? Let me get a measurement on this so I can remember where I'm headed, what my goal is. We're actually getting through this pretty quick. It's a pretty thin nitro Z. Damn, that's pretty. Stuff's so thin, I'm going to have to measure a little more often. We're already at 68,000. My goal is 60, so Same on this side. I don't know if y'all remember how I know when to dip. Or once I've dipped and got the steel wet, I make light passes until all the water evaporates off the blade. Then I know I'm at around 250 degrees. I've tested it many times. That way I know I haven't reached my temperature. Those of you who haven't been watching me grind for very long, see those black lines I put on with the Sharpie? The only reason I do that is to let me know exactly where I'm grinding and where I'm not. It may not seem important, but it's nice to know exactly where you're hitting the steel. We're at 65 already. What I'm doing is I'm laying that angle back so that I can climb further up the bevel and get a nice flat grind. If I'd left it at my original angle, we'd already be done. We would just have a saber grind. Not that I dislike saber grind. I just like for a knife to be as slicey as it can possibly be. running this on 60 grit instead of 36 because this stock is so thin. I don't want to have to try to go back and take those 36 grit grind lines out of it. I don't have a whole lot of metal to work with. As you can see, we're almost at a full flap. Great thing is, once I get this side done, I don't have to do any more adjusting. I know I'll be dead on for the other side. One thing I should probably start doing is measuring that angle I've got the jig set at and recording it so that I'll have a reference in the future and know exactly where to put it. We're at 63 thousandths, and as you can see, all I like is that little line. By the time I get rid of that, this should be right at 60 thousandths. By the time I do the other side, it should leave me at 10 thousandths behind the edge. Last little bit is always what takes the longest, because you're actually removing steel across the whole face of the knife. Cheeto, if you're still in here, I plan to my plan is to start on your bird and trout next. These are really a little big to be considered a bird and trout, a little too tall. But I'm going to use this same thickness of steel. These are very slicey, very sharp. I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to use your design. More of a medium-sized game. whitetail deer size caping knife. That's got her. Let me go flip it over. What's up, Empty? Your sheath is in the clamp right now, setting. We'll be working on it here in about 15 minutes. While we're at it, while I'm thinking about it, I can show you, since you just got here, Empty, your both scales are clamped up, holes are in one side. So tomorrow I'll be able to drill through and shape these. So that should be done tomorrow. So I could be getting you two out here really quick. By the way, I don't know how many of you guys saw Duty's Daggers video from today, but that is the most passive-aggressive, funny motherfucker I know. That shit was savage, dude. I don't agree with everything he says, but that video is fucking funny. He's busting everybody's balls, Jocko. It's hilarious. Well, he's busting all the big name YouTubers with their own nice design made in China. When he said he was going to name his knife like knees and call it the piss hot headed back to prison, that was fucking hilarious, dude. If Jared don't find that funny, then fuck him. So we're about halfway there, but that means, you know, you guys know this top part takes twice as long as the bottom. Because it contacted twice as much steel. And he wasn't busting their balls necessarily about having knives made. He was busting their balls about being part of the fucking Cool Kid Club. Stop on the way to the shop tonight, have me a little cookout burger. Cookout's pretty good for the price, man. They're not Five Guys, but they're the next best thing and half the price. That would have been a pretty saber grind. Fuck that. I don't know how many of you guys in here are actually like outdoorsmen, deer hunters. If you've ever been about halfway through cleaning a whitetail and your knife goes dull, you'll know why I want these so thin and sloppy. I ain't using it to pry no joint support though. I'll say that. Do what you like, Yako. I don't have shit going on, but I'm still drawing. That's right. Yako, it's not just about the having knives made. You just have to watch the video. It's the whole holier than thou attitude that comes with it. I don't think you would ever have that. I can tell you right now, if you did, I'd tell you. I'd call you on the damn phone. You used to hunt split tails, Kydex? That's the only reason guys ride dirt bikes, ain't it? That's all motocross racing is. A bunch of autistic kids looking for an adrenaline dump and a piece of tail. Trying to take it slow on this side, guys. This is so thin it overheats quickly. Maybe it's unfair that sometimes I talk about that stuff. Once you get in the community, you start getting involved in some of these chat parties and you just see how embarrassing some of those guys are. I forget that when I talk about it, not everybody has seen that side of them. They don't know what I'm speaking of. When it got down to the fact that they were making fun of the community and their fans for how easy they were to take advantage of and get their money, that's when I knew I didn't want no more part of it. But they give us a place to come together. That's all that matters. But I don't typically see any of you guys in those places anyway. What's up, Donnie? What's up, Paul? Almost done with this one, guys. See where we at the edge. I gotta quit calling it behind the edge because there is no edge yet. We're at 30,000. That should work out perfect. By the time we get to the top of that bevel, I'm hoping we'll be at about 10. Surprised you guys ain't over at Pocket Metal. Let him tell you how you're wrong about everything. I love that guy, but he's an asshole. Tito, I appreciate you picking me, buddy. And anybody else that did. But I ain't trying to take nothing away from them. This just happened to be what time I got here. I don't know if that grind is showing up on camera as good as it is, but it's fucking beautiful. Makes me want to go shoot something just so I can clean it. I don't think Kyle's going to have any complaints starting in this. Look at that, man. I ain't even have to hit that with Scotch Brite. I don't even need a finishing belt. Couple more passes, we'll go back to that Kydex sheath eventually. Yeah, I put that shit against the CNC ground knife any day. How do you even brag about a CNC bevel? Look what my robot did. Almost done. to see how flat this grind is? All right, let's see where we at. Got 13,000. Still got a little more to go. My math didn't come out perfect. This close. I'm damn proud of that one. Smack that one on the ass, call it done. All that needs is handles. Go over here and check on empties. Kydex sheath, see how many times I have to do it. Every now and then I get one in one try, but I don't even get mad if I have to make multiples anymore. It's just something I'm not excellent at, so I expect it. apparently the Kydex has stuck. Guess that means we got a good seal. Yes, sir. Grind away some of this excess. Well, first I'm gonna go, I got over 1 inch at the end, I'm gonna saw it off. That's about all that bandsaw is good for is cutting Kydex. That thing is a ballless piece of shit. All right, now we gotta get the knife out of it. Well, she's sealed up in there. This happens though. Once I get that tape off, it won't be that bad. Anybody that tells you they like working with Kydex, probably a fucking psychopath. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Tyler. Because this is by far my least favorite part. Javon keeps recommending people for me to watch, see how they do their Kydex. And I appreciate it. The problem is, I don't fucking like it. So, probably never going to be great at it. It's hard to be great at something you hate doing. Not to mention, this thing has a Kyle Coonley edge on it. So it's a little nerve-wracking. Every time my fingernail touches it, it slices a little hair-sized piece of my fingernail off. Look at that. You guys remember that fight getting it out? Well, something happened. There it goes. Popped right in. So, now we go to the drill press, get us some rivets in it. Is Empty still here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, how many people you get to watch make your knife, Empty? I'm not saying none, but I'm assuming probably not a whole lot of people. I know some people get to watch very good knife company make their knife. I think that's really cool. Hopefully one day I'll have the equipment he does. He's got some nice shit. At the same time, though, I'm pretty proud that I accomplished what I do with what I got. Pretty proud of that. Y'all don't let me forget, Empty's knife's over there by the drill press. Because I'll go to looking for it in a little bit. Won't be able to find it. That's just part of my process. Got that rivet in. That one's done. I can almost guarantee it'll be tough to get the knife back in after I rivet it because it's going to tighten all this up, but there's still some material to be removed. All right, rivets are in. See if the knife still goes in and out. If it don't, it's not a big deal because I got to remove some from this area. No. It's weird when I try to do it with my hands like that. It don't want to. Pops right in. No rattle. Won't shake off. Happy about that. Now let's get this top edge shaped. One receptacle short over here. Constantly plugging and unplugging. It's all good. That's that cheap $60 grinder from Harbor Freight, in case you're wondering about buying it. It does work, but it will vibrate your table to pieces. We've tried bolting it down. We've tried everything. There she is, empty. You can put some loops on it, carry it scalp carry if you want to. You buy an ulti clip, clip it in your pocket, however you want to carry it. Your first knife is officially done, empty. Hallelujah. Yeah, I haven't had near as much trouble making sheaths for the thugs. They've all turned out way better than most of my other stuff. It's just the handle design. It's got a good place to pop in right around where kind of that finger troll area is. And I guess I'll take some credit for, I've learned more, so there's that. So everything else I had pressing tonight, guys, has got to cure overnight. I don't want to take any chances with the epoxy, especially since it's going to get cool tonight. But I guess what I'm getting at, if I can get 3 1s in the chat, might not be exciting. I've only got that one style to grind, but I'll grind another. So if you guys want to hang around for one more, let me know. Throw a 1 in the chat. If I can get 3 votes, I'll grind another homestead before ending this. It's only been 2 hours. My first best knife ever. I appreciate that, Empty. I really do. I'll be honest, guys, probably the most useful knife I make, though, is this. They're very thin, very slicey. There's just nothing flashy or special about them. I knew Paul, yours don't even count. I knew yours was coming. I'm confident I can stay here all night. All right, that's enough, guys. That's enough. I'm confident I can stay here all night and Paul hang around and watch me grind bevels. He's a grindaholic or something. I sure do wish, speaking of Jared Neves, that guy had about a $3,500 2x72 given to him. He's never made a single knife. I wish he'd just donate that thing to me. Since it's clear he's not going to use it. I'm going to try hit him up. I don't think we're that tight anymore, to be honest with you. I used to talk to Jared on the phone all the time, and I knew this was coming. You know, me and Jared talked about this a long time ago when, you know, hats off to that guy because he has put in the work, guys. He's certainly put in the work to be a successful content creator. And we talked about it a long time ago that he was going to lose all of his loyal fans, and he knew that, and he was okay with it because he knew that's what it would take to get big and make money. But that's why, you know, a lot of us feel like, man, it just don't feel like it's for us anymore. Well, it's because it's not. It hadn't been for a while. I guess my point is, I don't think I'd ever want that. I'm going to try this on this used belt. Seems like it's still cutting really good, but I'm going to find out. In all actuality, though, guys, just to be perfectly honest with you, if you ask me what I want, what tool I want the most right now, it's not a grinder. I'm really happy with my grinds. I want that swag off-road sawzall or bandsaw table. I keep trying to save up the money to get it, and it just hasn't happened. I think the table is about $180. That would save me a ton of time and make everything safer if I could do more bandsaw stuff. That'd be the piece of equipment I want the most. I mean, there's some Cheeto Bandito designs out there that I'm going to need a good 2x72 to do. I'm not ready yet. Empty, I know your pain, brother. My mom is in really bad health. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have her with me. But luckily, thanks to knife making, I've been able to help her out some. She's in a pretty bad spot financially. And her health's so bad, there's nothing she can do about it. So that's hindered me from buying equipment. then, those of you who've helped me, you've helped me help her, so I really appreciate that. I was even kind of concerned about showing some of the firearms I've acquired lately. Afraid people would think I was rolling in money. But I've traded for every one of those, so that's not the case. So far, this belt's still cutting really good. All that does suck. It's just part of life, man. She's been ready for shit 3 or 4 years. She hates living the way she does. I just don't want her stressed out about not being able to pay bills, so I've been helping her out. Glad that she had somebody take advantage of her. Steal a card out of her purse, run up a bunch of money on it. Unfortunately, it's a teenage girl, so it's not like I can just go beat her ass. I don't know if it means anything to y'all, but like, I know for a fact the last money I got from Empty, every penny of it went to my mom. So when I say how much I appreciate you guys' support, that's what I mean. Paula 2x72 with everything that you want or need on it, or everything that would make it worth upgrading from what I've got, is around $3,000. I took my mom out to eat this weekend. I didn't take her, I'm sorry. Her brother came up. We all took her out to eat. Her brother paid. He's rather wealthy. But, we left the restaurant, got in his car. She collapsed over on me. Started shaking, her fist was shaking. Started pouring sweat, turned white. We immediately took her to the emergency room. I really thought she was gonna die right there in my lap. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the light just went off. They've never done that before. I don't know what's up with that. I don't have to have them, but I've never seen them shut off like that. They are LED. I don't know. I don't think it would be because they got hot, because all of them shut off. Like this whole bank over here, the switches are still on. Yeah, dude, it was scary, man. I was in tears. Like I really thought she was gonna die before we got her there. And you know, thinking back on it, would there be a more beautiful way for her to pass? Maybe not, but man, I don't know if my I don't know if my mental health could handle it, to be honest with you. I don't know how I would have processed that, her dying in my arms like that. Blew the breaker. That's weird. It's letting me here know that. They won't come back on, but I ain't got to have them. But I'm sure he wouldn't want to know they're not working. Oh! Ruh-roh. Now it is a problem. Now it's a problem. Maybe it was the grinder that blew it, but all it's on that breaker, all it was running was my grinder and lights, and we've spent hours running both of those. Well, shit, guys. That may bring us to a screeching halt. I didn't realize the receptacles were on the same circuit. Well, that's back on. I'll try it one more time. If they go out again, I ain't gonna risk it. The lights didn't come back on. The LED, maybe you have to turn them off and on again. I don't know. No, they're not working at all. Oh, they just flashed. Man, I don't know if I need to do this. I don't know if I want to take that chance. Let's see if the lights flashed on and back off. Grinder's still. Let me go turn those lights off. No, it's not a GFCI. Well, if there is one, I don't know about it, but I mean, it's running. It's the lights that aren't working, so I'm sure they're not. But although they may be plugged into, yeah, that may be them plugged into that receptacle right there. Yeah, when I turn it on, they'll flash on for a second. I'm gonna leave those lights turned off. I don't know, but the plug for those LEDs right up there, the shelf is like right against the wire. I'm worried, like it's right up against where the wire goes into the plug. I'm worried it may have rubbed that wire and rubbed a bare spot in it, so I'm gonna leave that off. I'd call Meathead, but he's probably asleep. I'm just gonna leave them off. If it kicks the breaker again though, guys, I'm gonna have to shut it down. Tell y'all how fine this metal dust is. It has stained my chest where it's flown through my t-shirt. And yes, I showered. I don't know if y'all were in here for the last live. My chest was covered in metal dust. I went home and scrubbed it with a loofah. I still got a black spot there. I think my angle's a little off. It shouldn't have been off, but I think it is because it rose awfully fast. So we're not near through enough at the edge. But we learned already it doesn't matter. If we hit the top, we're not thin enough here yet. We just crank this in, put our Sharpie lines on until we get where we need to be here, and we're grinding the lines away all the way up. That's not how Walter Sorrells would teach you, or any other professional for that matter. I learned that by not being a professional. That is something I learned trying to figure out how to fix a bad grind. What's up, Gary? What's up, mate? Or is that Australia? South Africans use mate too, correct? Gareth, I watched a video recently about a South African guy. He, apparently he's part of like a hunting party. After the guys go through and kill these animals, he's got like a Range Rover. He comes in behind them and finds the dead animals and cleans them. Dude, he's got like the whole truck, the whole side of the bed of the truck is set up with all these different blades and different sharpening stuff so that he can resharpen these knives and clean this big game right there in the field. It's pretty cool shit. That whole truck was geared up just for processing animals and sharpening knives. Now I wondered what kind of steel he used on his knives, but I guess for him it doesn't matter. He's so good at keeping them sharp, he could use anything. I sent the video to Kyle. You know, just rubbing it in, letting you know what a real knife sharpener looks like. I'm really confused how that angle got off that far. I'm all the way at the top, but I know I'm not spinning up down here yet. Son of a bitch, I am too. That cut faster than it did crash. Oh well, I ain't gonna complain. I have to get this Sharpie off here. That is weird, man. That's kind of super fast. I don't have an explanation for that. I'm not going to complain. Well, that was probably the fastest bevel I've ever ground, and that's a 60 grit belt, not a 36. Me and Steve Floyd had a conversation about that recently, though. How every now and then you just get a belt that defies physics. Breaks all the rules for some reason. Doesn't seem to be cutting this side as fast. Let's try cleaning it, make sure. not a bad idea, Gary. I was a mechanic, guys, for about 25 years. My boss loves to tell a story about how I was working on a 1-ton utility truck. But I've been over it for 2 or 3 hours. Laying underneath it, working on it. Finally came over and crawled up under the truck and found me laying on my back. And I had my arm zip tied over the drive shaft. So it looked like I was working on it. I'd been asleep the whole time. That's back in my partying days. I had to catch a nap when I could find one. Apparently it's been a long night. It does feel pretty good. Garrett, you're right there. Almost done with this one. I will say the second side didn't go near as fast as the first, but I'm sure the belt's worn some. It's still throwing really good sparks. That will work. That's at 9,000, guys. Time we get a 15-degree edge on that, that'll be a cutting son of a bitch. It is weird how this is Nitro V, and you see how it still stains with those water spots? It'll get up to 200, 250 degrees while I'm grinding it. And it's still, I don't know, I don't understand the water spots, but it happens every time. I can only imagine cleaning something with that. That's going to be awesome. Come up with some scales for Troy's Goon XL. I guess I could do that before I leave. At least go ahead and get the first scale glued up. I don't know how good this is going to be at stabbing trees, but it ought to be a hell of a cutter. But I want to go clean up this area and get it, just get some scratch lines in it so the glue sticks better. Kind of surprised that hadn't rusted. M4, or not M4, 4V. But it's done a really good job at staying nice and shiny. I haven't kept any oil on it or anything. I say that, and I'll come back next week and it'll be rusty as hell. Now, what we want to use on it's a question. I don't know what I've got. Maybe I'll just get with Troy and find out what he wants first. I don't want to glue anything on there and have to grind it back off. That's what I'll do. I'd be heartbroken if I put in all that work. He's like, no, I don't like that. He's been very easy to please so far. I don't want to push my luck. I am going to blow this table back off before I head out. It's nice having modern tools. Well, guys, I guess I'm going to call it for the night. Get these couple I got done home. Try to get them shipped out. Empty. Get with me, brother. Let me know if you don't mind. I'd rather wait a couple of days shipping yours and get because your goon will be done within the next 2 days. Hopefully tomorrow, if nothing bad happens. I'd like to ship them both if that's okay. And then Tyler, I'll get yours off to Kyle for an edge. So yeah, guys, I guess that's going to be it. Guess y'all jump over to Pocket Metal. Listen to him scream. Where's old Javon? Y'all done over already, Javon? Or you just stop in and say hey? Anyway, since Javon's here, in honor of him, we'll show his prototype one more time. I'm really liking this thing, dude. I'm excited about it. There it is. The fret. It's weird, man, because this is a huge little knife. I know that doesn't make much sense, but it is a small knife. It could actually stand to be a little shorter because I've got a little handle sticking out, but I made it to spec. It's not a whole lot of cutting edge, but at the same time, it's plenty, probably like pair of 3 size. The only thing I don't like so far is just a little wide right here. So I'm gonna knock some of this off, just some of it. Yeah, that's Javon's first knife. That's in Magna Cut. It's gonna be at least 64 HRC. So yeah, I'm calling it for the night, guys. I need to let Meathead know about our electrical problem. And yeah, I guess the only thing I'm gonna take with me is Tyler's knife. Try to get it shipped out before I come over here tomorrow. Get it on its way to Kyle. I wish I had something else to send him to go with it. Anyway, well, all right, guys. I'm gonna call it. You gentlemen have a great night. I appreciate the amount of time y'all spend with me. We'll see you.